What's up, everyone? It is Denise Salcedo. Welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited to bring to you this interview. My guest for today is taking part in the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Knockdown this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jamie Senegal. What's up, Jamie?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. The second that I found out that I was going to be doing this interview with you, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I'm so excited to talk about this show that's happening this Saturday. We got the Knockouts Knockdown, and you are one of the women participating in this tournament. So I kind of want to get an idea of what it kind of feels like for you to be part of this tournament with all of these great other females.
It is the craziest feeling on the entire planet. Like, if you could have told me at any point in my life that I was going to be performing for Impact Wrestling, that would be the craziest thing ever. I love Impact so much. I have my whole life been a very devoted fan to the Knockouts division, always. And look at my hair. I'm literally a knockout. Like in my head, I'm a knockout. So being able to see that come through to real life is like the craziest thing on the entire planet. And just to be able to be a part of Knockouts Knockdown, that's the coolest pay-per-view on the planet. Like, that was like, I remember like it was like Thanksgiving in like 2009 or something. And I remember seeing a commercial that they were doing it for like the first time. And I was like, what? An all women's pay-per-view? And it like cemented that I love Impact Wrestling. So.
And now it's like a full circle because here you are, getting to take part in this event, in Impact Wrestling. And so I kind of want to talk about some of the other women that are taking part in this. We got Mercedes Martinez, Lady Frost, Renee Michelle, Chelsea Green, Tasha Steeles, Rachel Ellering, Brandy Lauren, yourself. Share with us some of your thoughts on some of the other women in this tournament. And who are some of the women that you're just like, oh my God, I would love to wrestle this person if given the opportunity?
I think that Lady Frost is dope. I got to square up with her a little bit at NWA Empower, and it's the first time that we really got to like be in the ring together. I think she's so athletic, and I think she's amazing. And my eyes are on her because I think that would be so sick, and I think we would kill it. I think Renee Michelle is like a beauty queen with a really, really mean side too. I think she's one of the most beautiful women on the entire planet, but I also think that she could kick your head off. I always call her Laura Croft because I think that she is like the whole package. And then Chelsea Green is just a star, just absolutely amazing. And I would love to be able to square up with her. I would like to come out in a long shirt though, because she has abs for days. So I would be like, okay, well, not gonna show my stomach, but and I think that Rachel Ellering is amazing. I think she's dope, and I've always wanted to wrestle her. She's a hard hitter. I think she's such an athlete, and I think she's the coolest ever. And I would love to be able to work with her. And who else am I missing here? Who else am I missing?
Okay, Brandy Lauren, Mercedes Martinez, and Tasha Steeles are the only ones you haven't mentioned just yet.
Mercedes Martinez is a icon, a legend, and the scariest person I've ever wrestled. So I'm kind of good on that one.
You're like, I could skip.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I got whooped. She hits hard. So hopefully that's not me. But if it is, I will do what I have to do. But that one is one that I might go in there thinking, oh, I don't know if I got this one, to be honest. And then Brandy Lauren. Oh my gosh. Brandy Lauren is like a jack of all trades, eh? I don't really know what to expect from her. Like, anything could happen with Brandy Lauren. And Tasha Steeles, she turned on Kiera Hogan. So I'm just saying, there's a mean streak in there. And I'm kind of down for a mean streak. I have a little bit of mean streak in me too. So I think something crazy could happen there.
So here's the thing, whoever wins this tournament is going to get a shot at the Knockouts Championship. Right now, your Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo. So what would it mean to you to get to win this tournament, take it all the way, and get your shot at the Knockouts Championship? And perhaps it could even be against Deonna Purrazzo, depending on when and what happens. Share your thoughts on that.
I think that that would mean absolutely everything to me. Like I said, I have such a deep, devoted love for Impact Wrestling. And honestly, throughout this process of transitioning, I never thought in the beginning that I would be a knockout, which is what I always wanted to be. So then to be able to have an opportunity like that in front of me makes me want to literally do everything I can to make that come through. And especially against someone who is as talented as Deonna. I think that Deonna is also a jack of all trades. I think she's beautiful, and I think that she can tie you in a knot, and you will never get out of that knot ever.
You're done. You're done.
Yeah,
When she takes advantage, when she gets a good grip on you and a good hold on you, you're done. But no,
yeah.
that would be really, really incredible. And I'm sure that's very exciting. So one of the things that we're also seeing in this show is that we are getting a Memorial Monsters Ball in honor of Daffney, who unfortunately had a very sad passing. And she's also, so before we get to like the topic of mental health, I do want to ask you, what did Daffney mean to you in your career?
Daffney was everything to me, literally everything. I remember when I first saw her, I thought she was the coolest ever. And then seeing her pop up in Impact was the craziest thing ever. And I love her so much. And then to be able to have the relationship that I had with her, because everybody's always like, don't meet your idols. She became a mother to me. And she's honestly one of the greatest human beings I ever met. And she had so much love to give everyone, and we all gave her so much love back. So to be able to sit there and know that she is being recognized as the innovator and most talented woman that she is, and the great athlete that she was, that makes my heart so happy, because she honestly gave everything to this business, and I just love to see her get that recognition.
It is very, very nice. And you mentioned that she was like a mother to you. So can you tell us maybe some of like the, I don't know, advice or maybe wisdom that she may have passed on to you?
Oh my gosh, I have so much. I'm like, I would FaceTime her for hours every single day and for years. And she would always tell me, baby doll, you're a superstar. You just hang in there. Because when I was younger and I didn't understand why opportunities wouldn't come, I would get really frustrated and I would call her and I would cry, or, whatever it was. And she'd be like, baby doll, you're a superstar and you got this. And she would be like, I followed you before you even followed me on social media. And when I met you, she would always go, I was, and like she would just make the craziest like just Daffney faces and be like, oh, I was so shocked, and you're just such a star, and just hang in there and you got it, and be patient and work hard and be humble. And then to know that like this opportunity with Knockouts, Knockdown, and Impact Wrestling has happened kind of because of her, because she kind of helped me get the opportunity at Empower, and then I really got to showcase my skills. Is like the craziest thing ever. So to be able to know that kind of in a weird way, I'm here because of her, is like the most amazing gift to have. And it really stinks that she's not physically here to be able to celebrate that, especially after the years of me being frustrated and like upset and like, just being a young, hungry talent trying to succeed. It's a little heartbreaking to know she's not here, but it's the most like fulfilling thing ever to know that she's seeing it, because she's around me a lot and I know when she is, because it feels like I ate a big bowl of warm soup. I just have a warm, loving feeling and aura around me when I can feel that she's around. So hopefully she comes with me this weekend, and then I can get that beautiful Knockouts title in the future. So hopefully, please, I would love that.
I love it. And it's so beautiful the way that you talk about her and, the memories that you have of her and with her and how she helped you out. So I do want to ask you because, with her passing, it brought about a big, big conversation. And this has already been a big conversation, but I think more so in the wrestling space, I kind of feel like it became an even bigger conversation is the topic of mental health. So what are your thoughts on the fact that, this is something now that I don't want to say like her passing kind of, just kind of opened, I think, a lot of people's eyes to this, especially because unfortunately we saw the last moments of her life documented in such a public way. How do you think that impacted, people's perspective on mental health? And what are some of your thoughts on just what people are doing in regards to putting more awareness for mental health out there, especially in the wrestling space?
I think that when Hana Kimura and Ashley Massaro passed away, it kind of opened people's eyes for like a second. I think that it became the talk. And then I think people kind of dispersed and got back to their normal lives and kind of forgot. And then I'm really hoping that this is the one, this is the unfortunate event that happened that really makes it stick. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
No worries.
I really hope that that's the one that sticks, because it's a very serious topic. And especially not even just in our industry, but in all of entertainment, I truly feel like this is something that is kind of brushed off or ignored. And I think as entertainers, we're all on a pedestal. And I think that people get normal people get very drugged down because they see these people on the pedestal and don't think these people struggle too. So I think that us being able to talk about it, and not only talk about it amongst ourselves, whether it would be in a locker room or on a phone call, but talk about it publicly, is the biggest thing ever. And I think that it needs to keep going and expanding throughout all of entertainment, because I think the more that this comes out, I think that the less alone people will feel, and then the more that we can all work towards saving each other and making a bigger difference.
Kind of like having the transparency of hey, we all go through this. We all go through this lonely time. We all go through the whole thing of seeing people's lives on social media. Social media kind of makes everybody's life seem perfect and glamorous. And you're like, when's my life going to be like that? But in reality, no one's life is like that. So I do get what you mean by having more of this, transparency. And so, I know this is a hard topic to move on from, but I do kind of want to, jump into one of the things that you mentioned earlier was being part of that NWA Empower card. But one of the things is that you also made history on that card because you were the first out trans woman to ever wrestle for NWA in their 73-year history. That is a very, very long time. So for you, how does it feel to, kind of have that, to be the first person to be able to say that and have that, that history making moment?
That is the coolest feeling on the entire planet. And not only that, but that's also the coolest feeling on the entire planet, to be able to take that and run with it from NWA to Impact. I get to jump over and splash into another company and make a little more history. And I think that is the coolest thing on the entire planet. And I think it's very powerful. But I honestly don't want to use that for me. I want to use that for the public. And because when I was a young queer kid growing up, I would get very sad because, music, people wouldn't sing about queer couples. And, it was so hard to relate. And there wasn't really any queer wrestlers for me to be able to relate to. So I felt very alone. And I think now professional wrestling is starting to open up and become a place where queer people can shine. And I would love to be able to take those beautiful opportunities that I have got and be able to say, yeah, I'm the first, and that's the coolest thing ever. I'm so glad that happened, and I'm very grateful to the universe and to Daff for that. But also, I want queer people to be empowered by that. No pun, well, pun intended. Empowered by that, because I don't want queer kids to feel how I felt. I want them to feel like they have a purpose. I want them to feel like they can follow their dreams. And it kind of felt like really the art that queer people had was just acting, you know? And that would be like musicals and stuff like that. It kind of felt like that. So to be able to know now that we're being able to trailblaze so that they can become pro wrestlers, musicians, whatever it is that they want to be, is like the coolest thing ever. And I think it saves lives. I think that saves lives.
So I do have to ask you because, breaking into wrestling is hard in general, but on top of that, you add the fact that you're, an openly trans woman. So it's like, how do you kind of feel like what challenges have you like gone through? What has the journey been like to sort of find acceptance like amongst, getting bookings, working with promoters, even, even wrestlers and talents amongst themselves, like, not, it would be naive to assume that everybody is as open-minded as the next person. So what has that journey been like for you?
I broke into wrestling as a boy, and I was a queer boy that really didn't know themselves. I had short brown hair. I didn't really have a look yet. I just knew I liked pop punk music and I was a sad kid. So and I knew I loved the divas and the knockouts. So I didn't really know like, how do I make this happen? Like how do I find myself? So it took a really long time for me to find like who I was. And I really don't feel like I truly found the beginning stages of who I am until I started fully agreeing to transition and like decided, because I've always had that argument, but I never wanted to go through with it. And I think up until then, I couldn't find who I was. And I think that translated into wrestling because it was a struggle for me to get booked, for sure. There was people that absolutely loved me because they saw me for the hard work I was putting in, and then there was people who couldn't see past who I was. And adding all of that onto this kind of like gender crisis I was having in my head and trying to find myself, it really made my mental health bad. And then I took it as hard as I could, and I just packed it all up and started working really hard and trying to meet everyone I could. So I took all of that and decided to network as absolutely hard as I could, because I'm like, well, if they can't see the work I'm putting in and they can't see past it, maybe it's one of those things where they just don't know me yet and they'll have to get to know me. So I started introducing myself to as many people as I could. And then my work started to speak for itself, because when people got closer with me, they started seeing how hard I really do work. And then I started to be able to, get the bookings that I wanted and stuff. And then to see it all come through and pay off now is like the most rewarding feeling, because it was awful. The journey wasn't awful, but the starting of the journey was absolutely awful. So to see it come where it's at now, and to know that the work that not only myself has put in, but the other queer wrestlers who have been around as long as me, and even the ones who have been around longer, the work that we put in, younger queer talent won't have to go through that stuff that we went through. And that to me is more rewarding than any booking I could get, to know that those opportunities could come for everyone across the board. That was the end goal.
Exactly. And here's my thing too, is that like I almost feel like you mentioned making this transition as you're already involved in the wrestling business. So it's kind of like maybe like if it would have been if it was something that happened before, then you got involved in wrestling. It's like one thing, but as it's happening, while you're pursuing this career, I could only imagine all the challenges and everything that came about with that. So you mentioned mental health and all of that, and that's been a good topic for today. And here's the thing, is that I am curious because you do wrestle both men and women. Have you ever had any like pushback from anybody that was maybe like, I don't want to wrestle her because, whatever, maybe they're closed-minded or whatever. Did you ever have that experience?
I've definitely had situations where people have gone into it side-eyed, and I feel like a lot of people definitely were thinking, oh, great, I have to wrestle this person, because they were just judging the book by its cover rather than realizing I actually worked really hard. And then every time I would wrestle them, by the end, it would actually normally change their opinion entirely. And I feel like the fact that they got to wrestle a queer person and we're just like everyone else. We love the same movies, we love the same shows, we love the same music, you know? So I think being able to have that experience, but also being able to get along and have fun, you know, backstage or whatever it was, I think it honestly changes their mind and opens their mind up and makes them not feel a certain way towards queer people.
I love that. And I feel like that could be like argued about, like not like argued, but it could be a situation that could be applied to just like about anybody where like, you know, there, you know, we've had so many topics of like racism and all of that. And it's like once you get to know people, I feel like that's a way to sort of, you know, just, I don't know, open your mind up just a
Yeah.
little bit more. So I do have to ask because, you know, for how you saw the wrestling world when you first came in until now, it feels like there's been more of a conversation again about being more open-minded and accepting of others. So do you feel, you know, as somebody who's been in the trenches and has been in the business for, you know, a while now, do you feel that people are more accepting in wrestling, or do you still feel that there is a lot more work to be done?
I definitely feel like wrestlers are more accepting. I feel like everyone in the business is starting to accept it. I do always think that in every aspect, whether it's queer people, people of color, women, whatever it is, I think that there's always more work to be done because it doesn't just when it's wrestling, it doesn't just mean backstage. It also means the fans and it means society because we do kind of put an imprint on society because we're a part of pop culture, you know? So like I think that there will always be work to be done. And I think that the important plan here is to tackle these people that don't understand or do side eye and feel hate. I think you have to tackle that in a mature, educating way, and you have to make it comfortable. And that's their choice if they don't want to listen or not. But I think, especially as an entertainer, you shouldn't get mad and fight back. I think you just do what your job is, and that's to respectfully educate, because then you get to tell them the facts or show them the way without them being able to see you getting mad or upset, you know? So I think it's all a matter of you have to respectfully educate, and that's what opens minds up. Because I feel like there's a misunderstanding in the sense that a lot of people just don't understand it, so they reject it. And then a lot of people get offended and fight. But I think if it's spoken as an adult, and I think if you just break it down in nice terms, then there's room for understanding. And I think that's what is needed across the board, is understanding.
I love this. I love the way that you just kind of like really put it out there, because I was going to ask you, like, if you had a message for these people that aren't as open, like, what would you say? But I think you got it all down right there. And it's just like very, very clear and concise. So I feel like I can talk to you forever and we can dive much more into this. I know we only have a couple minutes left, so I am going to go on and move into our next portion of our interview. This is the lightning round where I ask you 10 random questions about yourself and you kind of just answer them however you please. Really fun game to get to know you a little bit more. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm scared.
No, don't be scared. I hope not. These are pretty fun, I think. Question number 1. Where is the coolest place you've wrestled at, and one of the places you'd like to wrestle at?
One of the coolest places that I've ever wrestled at is in Hawaii. I've wrestled in Hawaii twice. And it's Hawaii, but one of the coolest places I'm going to wrestle at is Impact Wrestling, and that I cannot wait for.
Great answer. Great answer. Question number 2. What is the last thing you remember ordering online?
I ordered in one day, the last week, I ordered a big knit sweater that is huge and white with black stripes and torn up, some little shorts to wear with it, and some knee-high socks. And I ordered a skateboard and everything in pieces so I could put it together. And then I named the skateboard Paul.
Oh, I love that. And no, I also love that you do the sweater and shorts thing, because I feel like sometimes people like get criticized for doing that, but I love that look so much. I love
It's so cute.
Yes. Question number 3. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Oh, my favorite wrestlers were Daffney, Ashley Massaro. I loved Alicia Fox. I loved Velvet Sky and Angelina Love, Taylor Wilde, and Melina.
Oh, yeah.
And I absolutely loved Me. No, I'm just kidding. I was watching Me while I was growing up. No,
Yeah.
I loved Awesome Kong. She was my favorite ever on the entire planet.
Amazing. Amazing. Question number 4. If you weren't a wrestler, what would you be instead?
If I wasn't a wrestler, I feel like I would be a hippie that is traveling the entire world. And I feel like I would just make paintings. Like, I feel like I would just like paint and stuff like that and listen to a lot of music and probably just go from like show to show to show and just live my best life.
Sounds so peaceful and relaxing. Like no stress, get it out.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What's the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you?
Ooh.
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
I don't really get embarrassed, so this is kind of a hard one. Let me see. Oh my gosh.
You're so lucky you don't get embarrassed.
I really don't. I'm trying to think. It's really hard. There's nothing really for me to get embarrassed about. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I mean, if you don't get embarrassed, like more power to you. I love
Yeah.
this. Like, I love this. Question number 6. Do you have any weird superstitions?
I do. Every time I wrestle, I have to put my socks on underneath my fishnets, or I think I'll have a bad match.
Wait, underneath the fishnets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't even think I like usually it's always over. Like that's the way people normally do it, right?
So I normally go underneath and like with like an ankle sock or something, and then like I'll wear like whatever type. Okay, actually, here's the entire superstition. Excuse me. I put on ankle socks or crew socks underneath, and then my fishnets, and then I also have to wear like a knee-high sock over top.
Oh my God, are you not like super hot?
No, yeah, I am. I'm normally never like happy about it ever.
Oh my God, I just feel like it's so much constriction to like your feet where you're like they can't breathe. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's the worst ever on the entire planet, but it makes it in a weird way easier to wrestle because I feel like my shoes are like more filled. And not that I have like bigger shoes than my feet, but like I have really skinny feet, so like it just kind of fills them up more. And it also is like a weird thing in my head that it's like, oh, if I forget to do that, I'm gonna have a bad match.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's incredible. Yeah, it's very interesting to me to learn like what superstitions people have. So that's awesome. Question number 7. What's something you've never been able to do well?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. I can't sing. I can dance. What's another? I'm like, there's so many things. Can't think of any of them because I'm just so good. I can't breathe underwater.
Not even, I was gonna say, I was like, wait, I wouldn't everybody, nobody can do that.
I try really hard to do other people's makeup. It's just never happening. It's really bad. Like one time I did one of the girls' makeup for a show. They were like, please. And then we were doing it. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. You look like a clown. I did so awful. It was like smoky eye, like this big, like bright red lips with a black smoky eye. Like,
that's fantastic. Okay, so don't ask you for makeup. Okay, we got it. We got it. Question number 8. What's the worst date you've ever been on?
Oh my gosh. I was just telling this story today. There was a guy that I went on a date with, and we were hanging out. It was fine. It was whatever. And then we went to Walmart, and he went to McDonald's, and he got like a quarter pounder with cheese and a strawberry milkshake and a large soda and French fries. And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was just sitting there like, whoa. And he was just literally like eating all of it. And then while he's eating all of it, it was like burger and smoothie on his face. And he was like, you know, I have a kid, right? And I was like, whoa, okay, this is a lot. And then he smoked like 55 cigarettes while he was eating them. And then it was like a 10-minute walk from Walmart to my house. And so I was like, let's just walk. It's nice out. He refused to walk. So he bought a $10 Uber for a 1-minute drive.
No. Oh, he's
Yeah,
not going down a good path.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
this relationship's clearly over, right? I'm
Yeah,
like, before I
we
say
hung out
anything
one
else.
time last summer, and I've never talked to him again.
Okay, good. I was okay. I was like, I'm here. I am putting my judgment. I'm like, what
Yeah,
if they're still together? I don't know.
yeah, no, no, no.
Okay, yeah, it does not seem like a great date whatsoever.
Yeah, it was chaotic.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. Question number 9. What's the best way to spend a day off?
I love to spend days off playing my PlayStation. I'm such a gamer. It's really ridiculous. I love playing Skyrim, but I also right now I'm visiting my mom's house in Pennsylvania, but I actually live in Arizona. So I live in the center of the desert, away from everything, and I have a bunch of four-wheelers. So I like to go on like 6-hour long four-wheeler drives and trek off and go try to find whatever I can.
Oh, sounds so much fun. Last question, question number 10. What's the best thing about Halloween?
Um, that it's every single day of the year.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
that. I love
yeah.
that. Awesome. There you go. That is our lightning round. Thank you so much, Jamie, for chatting with me today. It was so much fun to get to know you, and I cannot wait to see you on the show this weekend. Knockouts, Knockdown. I'm so excited. Before we go, feel free to plug in anything you'd like to plug in.
I would like to plug something that's very important to me quickly. Impact Wrestling is working with the Trevor Project. And I think that that is the coolest, most important thing in the entire planet. And I think it makes Impact Wrestling the coolest company on the entire planet because it's like tackling mental health, but on top of tackling mental health for queer people. And that is so special because when was the day that we ever thought that something like that would be fought for by such an amazing platform at that? And that makes me feel so comfortable going into the weekend that I hope really makes queer kids at home feel comfortable knowing that this recognition is happening and that good things are starting to happen in the entertainment business and in the professional wrestling business. And the smile on my face is just, it's like that is my plug. That is my plug. That is the coolest thing ever. And I cannot, period. Like that just is the absolute coolest thing on the entire planet to me. I could literally like cry right now.
Amazing. Well, I am so glad that this is happening. We'll have more information at the end of this video and also description. In the description box, we'll have all of the links where you guys can get all of that information. Jamie, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Until next time, I'm Denise Salcedo. This is Jamie Senegal, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone. Impact Wrestling has joined together with other professional wrestlers worldwide to participate in a new PSA, Tag Me In, to normalize the conversation surrounding mental health. For more information on Tag Me In, please visit tagmeinunited.com.